Hi, welcome to my channel, and so we're back. Today we're going to be doing a simple makeup tutorial, something simple, something for every day. So I'm also doing a book review for King of Great by Huang. So this came out last year, but if you've been considering reading this book, well, I hope this review pushes you over the edge. Personally, I really love this book. I don't know. So my criteria for reading a book is whether I like it or not. Like, if I enjoy the book all the way through, it's a 5-star review for me, I'm afraid. I don't really care much about writing, except for when writing is unnecessarily difficult writing, and then I'm afraid it's a badly written book for me. I find that it's okay if the book is not that well written, but does the story translate well? That's what I care about. So review this book with me. So I actually read this book quite a while back, and then I reread it for this particular review to see if I still feel the same way about it. And I actually found that I think I like the book a lot more now than I even did back then. So let's get into it. So the book is Failing a Marriage in Crisis romance book. So they're already married, Costa's leaving him. Oh, trigger warning, there might be some spoilers in this review, so I'll tell you when the spoilers start, but so far, tell you what I like about the book and what I don't like about the book, which I think it's not that much. So anyway, let's get into it with the makeup. So I'm going to do something pretty simple, just a little everyday, almost 10-minute routine. So I'm going to start with this Mr. Price foundation that I've been dying to try. I bought it, I think, end of last year, but I haven't worn makeup out of 10, so I guess I haven't really gotten a chance to wear it. So I did my skincare, I have my skin routine on. I did my skincare before I got on camera because skincare is important. So any advice I would give you towards putting on makeup is the base needs to be really good for everything else to translate as well. And what I find as someone who doesn't like a lot of heavy makeup, I like something a little simple. I think it suits my face a lot better. I'm definitely going to say to start with a nice amount of sunscreen. So I have my sunscreen on, I let it settle into my skin, so I guess it's not as shiny, and also it's like 7 in the morning, so yeah. So I let my sunscreen sit, which is important for your makeup. So I would say before you get your makeup on, honestly, do your skincare, go dress up, and then come back to your makeup. It gives it time, and it gives the makeup time to sit, the skincare time to sit, sorry. So yeah, so for starters, I'm gonna go in with this Scarlet Hill foundation from Mr. Price if you live in South Africa. It is the 12-hour long wear foundation. I use a really, like, when I say a little bit, I really mean a little bit. So I like to take some of it and just do 1 pump on my wrist. That's how much I use. Again, this is my everyday, like, 10-minute routine. I don't want anything intense or anything that's a little over the top. And I like to use one of these for my makeup because I don't know, I like it, so I use it. It's that simple. I do use a brush, just not as often as you think, not for my particular styling of base. Then I also like to go in with the Flawless Concealer. This is actually because the foundation is not quite my shade, and because it was the summer, my skin did get a little bit more tan, and now that we're approaching winter, it's getting a little lighter. So I'm gonna have to like mix it with my concealer just a little bit. So the concealer is also from the same line. So yeah, also from the same line. So I like to take some and just do a little bit under my under eye because I have a bit of dark circles, and you know, it's practically that clean girl routine thing that everyone was talking about, which I like it. I think it's okay, so I like to use it. Since I'm not really heavily intent on wearing any form of heavy makeup, I find that it works for me. So I like to apply a little bit to the important parts. Then I'm realizing right now that I just wasted this. I wasted this, but that's fine. I'll touch it up with everything else as it goes on. So a trick I've learned for a perfect, almost natural skin but better face is your setting spray. Your setting spray is pretty important for this step because it lets the makeup settle into your skin. That's what I'm gonna call it. So I take some of your setting spray. I'm also using the Scarlet Hill one. But this is a bronzing setting spray, so don't get this one. Get the glowy setting spray. I got the wrong one, but it works. It does its job. It does enough. It's fine. Like for now, before of course I'm gonna have to replace it because it's the wrong one, but for now it does its job. So then I like to go in and then I like to dab where I put the makeup. So I prefer to use this because I, funny enough, like that it takes any of the excess foundation away. Like see? So I'm gonna do my base first and then we're gonna get into the book. Because it is a big mistake to talk while doing your base. So give me a second. So I got in with this like soft dabbing motion. So I'm not pulling, I'm just dabbing. You see, I immediately have like a more lifted face. Like this gives me the perfect amount of makeup I want on my skin without making it look too heavy. So I will go back into that little makeup over there just to cover up some of my acne scars, because I have been doing the thing you shouldn't be doing and pinching my acne. Don't do that. You're better than me. Don't do that. So I do like to go in side by side. I find it translates a lot better. Honestly, if you don't want anything intense, you can even just go in with just a concealer. Get your shade. So if you want to do like this kind of makeup look but with just a concealer, use your shade of concealer, like your actual face shade. Just get two concealers, okay? Get two concealers and then use the one that matches your skin for the first little thing, and then the other one for, you know, brightening everything up. Remember to look up when you're dabbing in your under eyes to prevent creasing. And then I'll do my forehead last. That's it. That's my base. It's pretty simple. 5 minutes at best. So after this, ironically enough, I do like to go in with my makeup brush and I'll take my setting spray again and spray my makeup brush with it. And then I'm just gonna tap it so it's not too wet. I tap it on my arm and then I'm just gonna go into my base to help everything go where it's supposed to go. See, so with this makeup routine, I find that it doesn't feel heavy on the skin, which is something that I find is quite important to me when I'm doing my makeup. So I've been wearing makeup for a very long time, since I was around 15. I'm 24 now, so it's been a while. And I've gone through the heavy makeup, the simple makeup, the whole thing. I've just found what I like, which is I found my face suits this kind of makeup a lot better. So after this, I actually go in. I might, so depending on the day, I sometimes go in with my concealer again, ironically enough, just to brighten up my under eye. Like a little bit, like really the tiniest bit. See? And I use this on just the areas that I want to brighten up and nowhere else. Now for this part, I actually use the brush. Well, I find it brightens up my under eye but doesn't lift off any of the concealer because again I'm using so little of it. I don't want it to go to waste and end up in the brush completely. So after this, I like to take my bronzer. So again, this part I apply with a brush. So I use just a little bit of bronzer on my cheeks and a little bit on my forehead. So I do swear when my hair is covering that part of my face, I don't really focus on putting makeup there because I can't leave my hair anytime soon. So after my bronzer, I like to brush it in. And so the biggest thing about makeup is the thing that takes the longest is that you need to get really good with blending your makeup. See, like, it should blend into your skin and not remain patchy. So some people tend to do that and stop right there, so you can kind of see where the placement was. So you need to blend until you can't see that anymore. See? Also, this is the prettiest hair accessory I own. It's like a little butterfly. So just look at it when you wake up. Now, if this was like an intense kind of thing, I would have actually said to go in again with your setting spray after this step. But honestly, for today, I think I'm gonna skip that step because I don't think I'll need it. Anyway, so with my base almost done, my favorite part of the base is of course always the blush. I love blush, and sometimes I'll mix my blushes. So this is not a blush, it's actually a lip paint, but I have found that I like the shade a lot more as a blush than I do as a lip shade. So I had a pink liquid blush that I suddenly can't find, but it's okay. So we're gonna go in with this. It's kind of like a reddish orangey shade, and I like to do that on my cheeks. It's really not reddish, it's more like a maroon. It's like a mauve, like a deep pink. Yeah, that's the correct. So this particular product, since it's not actually a cheek product, is a little heavy. So I sometimes will either go in with my fingers, or I will go in with this little thing. I like to smile so that I'm making sure I'm just like moving it in the correct places. And then just to finish it off, I'll go in with my brush just to make sure it's moving. Like, you don't want it to be stuck in just one place. Like, say I wear a bit of an intense blush on a good day, so I went a little heavy in it this day. Today though, I was a little heavy-handed with it, but that's fine. So if you find that you've put on way too much blush, I'm gonna show you a quick and easy fix for that. So, you know, spread your blush out. So at this step, if you find that if you use the product and it's drying out, just go in with your setting spray and put a little bit of that on your little puff thing, and just like tap, just to help it. Like, it wets it all over again and helps it just like move around. So that it's not so intense. I like to bring some of it onto my nose. And just not to worry, even if it looks like you just dispersed most of it, you're gonna bring it back in. So the thing I found about makeup is you introduce color and then you bring it, then you take it out. It's practically the whole thing with makeup. So see, today I applied way too much blush, as you can see. So what I'll do is that I actually will take a little bit of, normally I'll take my concealer, but so take a little bit of your concealer and just like do that in the area where the blush has overdone it. Now, it is important that when you're using your little thing, do not use the side that you just did your blush unless you're sure that the blush is not on it. So there's no blush on mine, so I can go in without worrying and then just, you know, pat my concealer into that. But if you prefer to use a brush, this is a perfect place to use a brush actually, so you don't have to worry way too much. And there you go. Doesn't look crazy anymore. We're gonna adjust the blush as we go into this makeup look. Honestly, the base is done, so let's get into the look. I'm gonna let this sit actually because I want to do a little bit of powder under my eyes. So I just take a normal powder palette. I'm not particularly worried about which one. And I take a shade that's lighter than my skin tone, so almost my concealer shade. And then I will go into this with that and just pat it like right under my eyes. Like, when you first do it, it's gonna look a little crazy, trust me. But then just like pat it in, and this helps you prevent flashback. So you know when you get like photographed with a flash and then suddenly your face looks white this helps prevent that. Like a little powder actually goes quite a long way with makeup. So this is supposed to go in the parts of your face that you used concealer on. So make sure that's where it goes, because it's supposed to help you with your concealer so it doesn't look white when you do happen to take photos. I do also like to do that and also set my eyes, because it just helps your concealer not to crease. See, it looks a little matte for now, but you see, like it brings, just like pulls the whole thing together. It's not Canadian. Anyway, so we're gonna let that sit. Let's talk about our book. So anyway, back to King of Grade. What I liked about this book, I think I like that we started with this couple already established, and also we got to see scenes into when they're still in college. I think it's not even college. When they're still in college, and he didn't have as much money then, but of course now he's insanely rich. Okay, spoilers. I'm gonna spoil a little bit over here after this section. So it is a marriage in crisis. The marriage is struggling. She's leaving him because once again he works way too much, forgets the important things, and isn't really showing up for her. And as we've seen in, if you've read the other series, if you've read King of Pride and King of Wrath, we do see a few snippets of him here and there, which I'll review those books after. But yeah, he's not being a particularly good spouse, and so she decides to leave him, understandably so. And this is where we are in this book. So they've been together for a very long time, since they're in college. It's the classic poor boy marries a rich girl and then works really hard to keep up, even though she's not really demanding of those things. And he kind of becomes a workaholic in that he feels he needs to make a lot more money than they actually need. Like, they're disgustingly rich, and he can't seem to stop working, and she's lonely, she's miserable, and she's just done. Okay, so she decides to leave him, and this is what this book is about, him actually trying to win his wife back. And I found that it made me feel so gooey and so it's like fluffy. I don't know how to put it. I think it was a really gorgeous book. I love the writing. I would definitely give it a 5 stars because the story was flowing. I was kicking my feet at one point, crying at another point, and feeling so bad for them because they love each other, but things are just not working because it's not allowing things to work. Okay. And anyway, it was nice to see him get humbled, if you call it that, just a little bit. Like, okay, so spoilers starting here. I've given this book 5 stars, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. So if you don't mind the spoilers, you can keep going with the video, but I'm going to try to minimize them as much as possible, like as best as I can do. And yeah, so my favorite, one of my favorites is the scene where she initially leaves him and then he runs through the rain to try and find her. And I thought, oh, I want someone running through the rain for me. Like, that was a really gorgeous scene, and she's just like gone and not knowing where he is. And I also love the scene where his friends tell him, yeah, you kind of had that coming, because I think it's like a rarity where you see like other guys go like, she should have left you a long time ago. And I'm glad his friends are just like, yeah, she should leave you. You've not been a particularly good husband, bro. And I love that. I love that about the book. Also, they have such great chemistry despite being in the middle of a divorce. They have such chemistry. Like, you can tell they still love each other, and the divorce is just because they're not working out. Like, I actually didn't expect to like this book as much as I did, but it had all the things you want in a fighting for my love thing. Like, the groveling, the yearning, it had it all. I personally liked it, and also it did have a few spicy scenes that were particularly good, so I'm not gonna go into detail with those because if you don't, they're not as many, but like there's enough for those who like spicy scenes in their books. There's enough, and for those who don't, it's not over. You can just like skip them if you want to. But I found, as a person who likes the spicy scenes, I really loved those particular scenes. I thought they were very well written, and I don't know, I found that I really fell in love with the characters. I think Dominic, I think that's his name. Yes. I felt bad for him. Like, halfway through, I actually started feeling really bad for him. Then I realized, no, I shouldn't be feeling bad for him. He brought this on himself, literally. I'm just gonna go on with this for my lips. So just to give it a bit of moisture. Okay, this always ends up being way too pink. I actually don't know why that is. Anyway, like he definitely had it coming, her leaving him, and it's like I want to feel bad for him, but at the same time it feels like one of the things where he needs to learn a lesson, and if he doesn't get it, they're never gonna work out. So I'm gonna go in with a bit of brown around my eyes just to even everything out, so I don't look like unfinished. Anyway, so yeah, so I will like put in clips of some of my favorite passages from the books, and one of my favorite scenes is actually from when he doesn't have money yet, because she's his tutor when they first meet and he falls in love with her while she's tutoring him for his university studies. And one of my favorite scenes is actually when he promises to buy her 1,000 flowers, and since he doesn't have the money yet, he makes her these paper flowers, and I thought that was so sweet, and it showed how much effort he put in. And then also you see why she went like, yeah, he promised he would do the 1,000 flowers, and he gave me the 1,000 flowers, but then he broke so many more promises after that, and I'm just like, I felt bad for him, I'm not gonna lie. After a while, I actually began to feel really bad for him, because I get it, like, you know, he didn't really grow up with money, and he wants to have enough money so he never has to feel the way he felt again when he didn't have the money. Except like he's losing the more important thing, which is his wife, and it was really fun to watch him fight for her. And the scene where she goes to visit her brother, and then he gets the house next door, that was so funny. And then she has to act as if she doesn't really care about him anymore, and then she's just like, I can't believe he's taking time off work, because he never does that. Anyway, why I think you should read this book, I think if you want something that really, you know, makes you feel all gooey on the inside and you're going to sit and work through things, I think this book is perfect for that, because it's not so heavy that is like really emotional, but it's like emotional enough to have you thinking about it after you're done reading it. It has all the good stuff, it has all the yearning, it has all the groveling, it has like, I don't know, like, I'm not a big reader of second chance romances, and although because almost like the reason you live in the first place still counts, don't go back. But with this particular book, I found I might actually have, I think, marriage and crisis books, because it's just, it was a lot of fun to watch them, like, you know, navigate, you know, her giving up and then him trying to fight for her, and then also seeing how he's going to decide to change so that their relationship can continue working, because, you know, he doesn't want her to leave him. So yeah, so if you like something like that for your books, I would definitely recommend this particular book, because I thought it was a really good one. You know, I wanted some brown around my eyes just to bring back some edge, as I like to call it. This is of course my everyday makeup routine, so it's nothing intense. I have this little eyeshadow palette. It's like a gold themed eyeshadow palette, and I like to go with that around my eyes. It's nothing intense, but if you look closer, you actually see the detailing on my eyes. And I go in with the brightest color in my inner corner, because I think it looks cute, and it also wakes my eyes up. See, I have a bit of dark circles around my eyes, and sometimes my eyes need a bit of a wake me up, and I find that this little trick does that actually. So yeah, I will go in my inner corner with that, and then after I've done this, I actually like to take the deeper gold and just go over my actual lashes, my actual eyelid. Like, it's kind of like the saying I think about when I'm doing this particular makeup routine is stars in her eyes. Like, I don't know, kind of feels like I'm like everything is like so golden, so fun. It's just, I like the kind of vibe with my eyes. Also, I'm channeling my inner Leo, you know, with the gold palette, so I really do enjoy having a bit of gold on my eyes. Now, if you want to do this, but your makeup brushes are not as many as you'd like, I was just going in with your fingers And I'm gonna give you the price of this particular little eyeshadow palette just now. This thing was 29 rand. I find it works particularly well. It has 4 shades. It has 4 shades, from a really dark brown with specks of gold in it, a deep gold, a lighter gold, and then a sparkly white. So I think they're actually coming out to create this particular look very flawlessly. So after this, I actually do like to go in with the warm gold and go with that over my nose. I know we don't really highlight these days, but I'm a glowing makeup kind of girl. I'm afraid I've never been able to stop liking my glowing makeup, unfortunately. And yeah, I'm practically done. So I had a makeup brush here. So I do like to go in with a different brush, clean brush, and then just to brush that powder off our under eye, because the irony is that not enough powder will make you look white, like ghostly, and too much powder will also do the same thing. So I like to brush it away. Anyway, yeah. So we're gonna go in once again with our blush just to finish up the look. And I like to use this old blush palette that I got from, like, it says Neil. Can't tell you what it says. It's faded. And I like to go in with a warmer orange almost. So I actually had a pink blush palette that I somehow lost, and I do not know where it is anymore, which is absolutely devastating. But this one works just as well, so I guess it's fine. And yeah, so we just reinforced our blush, went around the nose, of course, because we like that, and now to the lips. So yeah, so if you find that this 5-star review actually gave you some clues, I will also attach some of the art from the book, which I thought was really great that the author shared, and you can have a look at it. And honestly, if this review made you want to go into the book, I would say just dive right in. It is a really great book. It gives you all the feels. It's good for particularly a rainy Sunday, like rainy Sunday, blankets, hot chocolate, and this particular book, perfect. It's absolutely perfect. And I also think the author attached a sound, like a playlist to it, which I really like the playlist. But I'm the kind to put on one song that I find reminds me of a couple, and then like put that on repeat, and then just like read the book with just that one song on. I don't remember what song I picked for this particular book, but I think also read it with the playlist. I find that it just heightens the experience a lot more. So yeah, so if this review convinced you to try out King of Greed by Anna Huang, leave me a comment, tell me what you think of the book, and let me know if I read the book correctly. And yeah, so let's do our lips. Simple brown lip liner. I don't like doing really too much for my everyday lip, because I find that when I go intense with my lips, I don't really end up liking it, and I take it off like 5 minutes into the car. So simple brown lip liner. Now, okay, here's a trick for one of the most perfect nudish pinkish lip looks. I use a smudge lip gloss. Now find the one that you think is the correct shade of pink for you. This one is for me because I find it goes really well with my actual lip color. Like, it blends in seamlessly with my actual lips. I have owned this for a couple of years actually. So I use just a smidge of it, because it's called smudge. I use just a little bit of it over my lips, and then I just like let it blend into my lip liner. So you see that, like, it doesn't look like I did too much with my lips, but there's actually quite a bit done on them. And so you can go intense or as heavy as you like with this, but I like to do the tiniest bit because it's more for dimension and a hint of color than anything. Then after you're done with this, go in with any clear lip gloss that you have. So I actually, this is a pink lip gloss, I'm not gonna lie to you, but I got it for 9 rand, and I find I really like it. It's clear, but it has like a pink hue to it, and then I like to go in with that, and I like to just like smash my lips together to give me this, and you know, that's it. So if you're feeling brave, go in once again. If you have the correct setting spray, go in once again with your setting spray. I'm not gonna, because mine is actually a bronzing setting spray, which I meant to get a completely different one, so that's on me. But yeah, this is our final look. So check out King of Grade, and I'll post another review soon, probably another makeup look. Thank you, and I love you. Bye.